Welcome, Scorpio and Scorpio cross watchers, to your love reading. So I do want to just say that I did put up a community post as to why I haven't posted for the past couple of weeks. It is over there. I just wanted to let you know. Otherwise, this is the relationship situation, and then you're here, your person's here, and it's thoughts, feelings, and intentions towards each other and the connection. So, of course, please take this as it resonates and always use your intuition when making decisions about your life, because this is a general reading. And cross watchers, you're welcome to flip the rules if that resonates better with you. So, Scorpio, um, this is a reading for someone that that you've already gone through the breakup, or it's like you guys have split, but one of you hasn't moved out yet. I don't know if that's a really specific story, but anyway, Scorpios, the cards were coming out. All I could think was like, I just kind of want to give you a hug here. It seems like this has been a really tough time for both of you. And I feel like it feels like it's more heartbreaking to you because on the outside, they're putting on a really good front. And it feels to you that because they're acting like everything's okay, it almost feels like they're stabbing you in the back a little bit here. Like, how could this person be okay if this, like amazing connection is over? How can they just be okay with it? And I think the message here is it's a crock. Because that's not what they're thinking or feeling. That's just what they're showing. So here we have the Ten of Swords as the energy between you. It almost feels like I'm hearing that Eminem line, like it all happened too fast for either one of us to grab it. It almost feels like something kind of got ripped out of your hands here. And obviously not just yours. It's almost like, feels like what happened. Not so much that you were more capable of saving it or anything, but it feels like they still really don't quite know what the hell happened. There's something that to them that feels confused. Maybe they feel that it's for some of them, it's almost like they feel that it's not quite over, that they think that you're like that it'll pick back up at some point again. But anyway, the card really speaks for itself. I feel Scorpio, sorry, it's not a very uplifting read. I apologize. It feels like this was something that it feels like it's steadily decreased over time. And the reason I'm going so slow is I don't really want to say these things. I feel like it's going to hurt your feelings. It feels like you've been put through the ringer, and it almost feels like you have completely, it's like you've given up. You've given up thinking that anything about this situation is redeemable. You've given up thinking that this person ever really had your back. You've given up thinking that maybe you've even given up thinking that they ever really even loved you, that they ever thought that you were attractive. How could they have ever thought any of those things and then treated you the way that they did? So in your heart space here, we have the Six of Swords and the Queen of Wands, but it's reversed. That's kind of where the attraction thing came from. It almost feels like there's something about this here. Not so much that it's a rejection. I'm not feeling that. It feels more that it kind of feels like they put their hand up inside you and tore your heart out a little bit. I apologize if that's a little graphic. It just feels like this was not an easy, nice, amicable anything. It feels like it was a tear your heart out of your chest sort of thing. And it feels almost ruthless and unexpected. And you feel that if it's almost like you feel that if you had all of your Scorpio, I apologize, I'm not trying to generalize, but like, you guys are tough. If you had all of your Scorpio faculties, if you had seen it coming, you would have been able to pivot out of the way. But because you never expected it, because you like, there's something here that like your heart's hurting. It feels a little bit like sorry. It feels a little bit like when people say that they die of when people have been married for 60 years and then they die within a few days of each other because they die of a broken heart sort of thing. If you're really feeling like you're in a really tough spot, please reach out for help. Talk to somebody anybody. Talk to somebody. Talk to someone that you trust. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to do it that alone. But anyway, I feel like it's almost like you're trying to heal too fast. On the one hand, it's so devastating that it feels like it's consuming you. And there's something about it that feels, I want to say, like icky or distasteful. It feels like the strength of the devastation that you're feeling, it feels like it's not your jam, it's not your style, it's not your MO. You don't get this upset about stuff like that. But the unexpected nature of it is what really threw you. Sorry, one second here. Oh no. Okay, so Scorpio, the reason you're still really struggling with this, it's almost like your natural thought processes, it's a terrible word, but you know what I mean, about this person haven't quite caught up to what reality is. And it's not because you're, not living in reality or you're not doing this or that. Again, it's almost like you had this view of this person, and because it feels like you had a legitimate, logical reason to feel that way. You felt really sure about it. And it's almost like you cognitively haven't quite caught up to the betrayal that happened here. It's almost like, God, I hope this didn't happen to any of you, because I'm not laughing or because it's funny, because it would be awful. It just was kind of an absurd thing to hear. Anyway, I'm stumbling. Scorpio, it's almost like you might have dated somebody for like a year or two, and you were like madly in love and you thought that it was everything, and then you find out that it was nothing to them. It's that kind of a like, what? It's that kind of a, because when the two of you were together, they acted like it was this, right? But that's not how they're portraying it now, or at least certainly not how they're portraying it to you. I do feel there's an element here where you kind of feel like you were taken advantage of, and I think you're pissed. You got a lot on your plate emotionally right now, Scorpio. I almost wanted to say Virgo. And I did the Virgo readings like a day ago, so it's not like they were running into each other and I accidentally said it. It's anyway. I feel like on it, so you're emotionally struggling with it. I feel like on another level, you feel like you got tricked. And you're not really sure how they did it. But it's almost like, I'm pissed and I don't know how they did it, I'm going to swear here, I'm just letting you know, but like, but I'm sure as fuck going to find out how they did it, because that's like, it's almost like I don't go for that. I don't play that game. So there's, Scorpio, if in those moments that you feel like you've kind of lost your spark, remember that you haven't. I mean, I feel some of you are like, of course I haven't. And like, yes, I 100% agree with you. The message here is just of support when you're in that moment, when you're really hurting, or if you're looking back on it, if this is a past situation for you, it's almost like maybe give yourself a little bit of grace. I'm going to invite you to give yourself the same grace that you would give a close friend who's hurting from a breakup. That sometimes you're sad and you feel despondent, and other times you'd like to, yell at them in the middle of the street. I'm not saying accost anybody. I'm just saying it's that kind of an energy. There's, your spark isn't gone. You're just sad, and that's okay. So in your headspace, we have the 10 of Wands. So there's, oh my, there's 3 10s. So lots of closing out of cycles here. But it feels on your end that you're, Scorpio, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you ready to let go of this person yet? It feels like there's something, I'm trying to feel if it almost feels like somebody here doesn't want to let go. It kind of feels like you're trying to, but it's like either your head or your heart is being uncooperative here. And it's almost like this person, excuse me, I'm going to swear. I'll try not to swear. It's almost like this person won't get the hell out of your energy. It's like they keep kind of like migrating over and almost like trying to send love your way. And it's really messing with you. Because there's moments when you think about them, or maybe you have a really strong energetic connection with them and you can feel that. And it's almost like it pulls you back into that, and then you have to pull yourself out remembering what happened again. And it almost feels like a little bit of spiritual warfare is what I'm hearing. I feel like I'm going to invite you, Scorpio, to maybe look at this situation, if you're able to, from a bird's eye view. I feel like you're not giving yourself enough credit here. And I feel like you're telling me off right now, and that's fine if you are. But I stand by what I said. Because I feel like you fell in love with somebody, or you certainly had strong feelings for them if you weren't quite in love. But what I'm seeing here is you fell in love with somebody, but it's almost like they used it to their advantage. And it feels almost like there's like a root of a genuine something from them, but they played a lot of games. And I'm feeling almost like a little bit of like feeling ashamed of yourself for having allowed it to happen, for feeling like it's almost one of those moments where you're like, am I that person now? I'm not that person. That's not who I am. This isn't who I am. And it's almost like the message here is like, you made these decisions, but that doesn't change who you are. It means you fell in love. And sometimes we fall in love and we make decisions based on emotions rather than logic. I do feel that I feel like you're being a little hard on yourself. It's the message here is like, yeah, hindsight is 20/20. It's like even the best of us get played sometimes. And it doesn't mean that you're not intelligent. It doesn't mean that you're not worth better, because, excuse me, yes, you are. But it's almost like down the road, or if you're listening to this after this has happened, it's like when you hit that healing place, when you hit that place where it doesn't break your heart every time you think about them, it's almost like you're going to look back at how they treated you and the way they spoke to you and be like, you know what? Of course I believed it. Look at what they said. Look at what they did. Like, why would I not believe that? And it's like there might have been things peppered in there, like a salt and pepper, like peppered in there, not a lot. It's like there might have been some things in there that may have tipped you off. But I think if you look at it on the whole, Scorpio, it actually makes sense that those things that were peppered in there didn't quite mar your opinion of this person enough to give them the boot earlier. If you're really in it right now, what I'm saying you probably don't care or want to hear, and I understand, I get that. Click off and come back when you're ready. Because being in heartbreak and having somebody tell you that, I hate it. Anyway, sorry, I digress. What I'm driving at here, Scorpio, is when you get through a little bit more of the healing, you're going to see that it wasn't because you weren't smart. It wasn't because you're not intelligent or intuitive or anything like that. It's almost like this person did have genuine feelings for you, but also likes to play the games. So it doesn't feel like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of thing. It's almost like this person, they love and they love to be loved, but they're not quite at that point where they really understand what it means to love a person, to love someone else, and to have them love you back, if that makes sense. And it almost feels like this person could just kind of, if it was up to them, they would just come in and out of your life, and it's almost like a kickstart to their self-esteem in the morning, that they could come in and out of your life. It honestly feels like, you can get mad at me if you want. What I'm feeling is it's not like they had this really terrible intention towards you to come in and be a complete ass. Sorry, I should have warned you about that. They did, but it's almost like they didn't have any ill intention towards you in the beginning. But it almost started to be like a game. Like they wanted to see how far they could push it. And it's one of those things where like they knew they were going on a slippery slope. But it's like they kind of reached out for a branch to grab, and they didn't catch one, and they just kind of kept going. So your intentions here, we have the Knave of Chalices, or this would be the Page of Cups, but it's reversed. So what I'm kind of getting here is like you're being your own best friend right now. And by that, I mean, if ever your mind is like, oh, wait, I want to talk to them, or I want to message them, or I wish they would message me, the rest of you is like, no, you fool, stop it. Stop. That's what I mean when I say that you're being your own best friend. Like you are hell-bent and determined that there is no way, like full stop. No more. You're not letting this person back in. You're not going back. Like, no. There's none of that. And it does feel, Scorpio, if you don't feel this yet, I feel like it's coming soon. It almost feels like there's something here when you do that for yourself, it feels like it starts to kind of rev your engine. It's like Scorpio comes back to life. It feels like in finding the strength within yourself to say like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I don't need this person. It almost feels like it's one step closer to pulling them out of your way. It's like if there was a whole bunch of blocks in front of you, I don't know why I'm thinking like big giant Lego pieces. It's like if you were picking them up and you just have maybe let's say you have a row of blocks you have to get out of the way. It's like that's the first block. And once you get the first one out of the way, you can kind of start to get the rest of the blocks out of the way. It does feel not so much that it's quicksand, but that you kind of have to get through a bit of a swamp here. And like it feels like it's going to be kind of gross and mucky to get through it. But by the end of it, you're going to be so, it's almost like when you start going through the muck, you're kind of like downtrodden and having a hard time. By the time you get to the end of that swamp, it's like you're kicking ass and taking names. It's that sort of an energy. It really does feel like you're coming back. So on their end, we have the Two of Cups, but it's reversed. And then we have the Two of Pentacles in their heart space, also reversed. So what I'm actually feeling here, Scorpio, with these, it's almost like it's like, okay, I'm sorry. I paused there for a second. Some people get annoyed when I talk really slow, but I'm doing my best. What I'm kind of feeling with this is actually that it's like in their head, they know, I'm going to swear here, I'm letting you know, that they fucked up a good thing, that they shouldn't have done this. This was a big mistake. It's almost like the longer you stay away, the more scared they get. Not that you're going to, go attack them or whatever, but it's almost like they feel even though you're really hurting, it's almost like they feel that you're kind of like ramping up to go and blast them, like yell at them or whatever, and not realizing that like you're just not going to give them the time of day. But there's something here that it's almost like they know that if they ran into you and you were mad, that it wouldn't be a surprise. You know what I mean? It's not like they'd be like, oh, why is Scorpio mad at me? They'd be like, oh yeah, I probably deserve that. It's like in those in the Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain Jack, when he gets smacked by a couple of people, he's like, oh, I didn't deserve that. And then he got smacked and he's like, oh, I deserve that one. It's that kind of a thing. I do feel like this person is someone that was really charismatic. And I feel like it's almost like when you look back, you're going to start to see where like you could have poked holes in their story, but because you were, really emotionally charged, you just kind of glossed over it. And it's not because you did really, anything wrong. It's like a thing in psychology. Well, I read a paper that that when you're with someone, especially for a long time, and you're, in it to win it sort of thing, that you actually will kind of elevate them, not on a pedestal or anything, but that you'll see them as better than the world sees them. It's like that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, that sort of thing. But anyway, I feel like they're feeling some remorse here. I'm not saying you have to care. I'm not asking you to have sympathy for them, Scorpio. All I'm saying is, on some level, I do think they feel bad. It's like, it's almost like they know that you didn't deserve it. Not so much that they necessarily feel, it's like they feel bad that it happened to you, but they don't feel bad that they did it. If that makes sense. It's like when somebody says like, well, I'm sorry you got hurt, but I'm not sorry that it happened. It's that kind of a thing. Yeah. So, um, then we have the Ten of Pentacles in their intent. And so it's towards you and the connection. And I feel like they're going to try to stuff a bunch of different people, things, into the hole that you've left. And it's almost like they could have the most delicious piece of fruit in front of them, and all they can kind of think about is when, I don't know why I'm hearing this, but like, is when you were sitting there peeling that apple. Like, so they should be having the absolute time of their life, and there'll be some small trigger for them that sends them back to a moment with you that felt really great, that felt, for lack of a, really real. It felt real. It wasn't fake, like you know, when the party scene gets a little bit old and you kind of, it's time to move on to the next sort of phase, right? It's like they're starting to hit that. They're starting to hit, I mean, maybe it's not partying, but they're starting to hit that next phase when they realize that actually this is what they want. I'm not feeling they're going to be, ballsy enough to think they can come back around and whatever. Certainly not right now, but I feel like it's almost like things are going to start chipping. I want to say like the universe is going to start chipping away at them and being like, see, you shouldn't have done that. This is why, and this is why, and this is why. It's almost like someone or something is trying to say to this person, like, I laid out, I'm going to swear here, I'm letting you know, I laid out all this great shit for you and you fucked it up. Like, and it's almost like whoever it is that could be stopping some emotional pain for this, your person here, isn't gonna, because it's kind of like, well, like I had a fix for all of that. Like Scorpio was the fix. Scorpio, and not so much that you would have fixed their life or you're a fixer, codependent. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that like your presence would have helped them avoid it. For example, if they would have got their finger slammed in a door, I don't know why, but like if they, not on purpose, but like they got their finger caught in a door, well, they would have held the door differently because you were coming behind them or whatever, something like that. It's something small, like your presence there just would have helped them subvert a lot of things. And now that's not going to happen for them. And listen, Scorpio, I'm not saying that it's all, happy and sunshine over here. You're obviously really hurting as well. I'm not trying to be judgmental towards this person, but Scorpio, it does feel a little bit that, I want to say you have the moral high ground here. I feel like that's a bad thing that I am saying, that I shouldn't be saying that, but that's what I heard. And by moral high ground, what I mean by that is you didn't act like an asshole. Sorry, I sworn a lot this time. I apologize. It's like you weren't mean. You weren't cruel. You didn't use this person. I'm not so sure that you bent over backwards. I'm not really picking that up. I don't feel that you regret anything that you did. Like there was nothing that you did that really hurt somebody. You're not wrong. You're not in the wrong here. They are. And so the message here is, well, you're neither of you are going to be happy with this ending. You're going to have a lot easier time in the long run moving on from it, because you're not going to walk away from this with regrets, and they will. It's not so much that you're the one that got away. You're the one they really messed up with. You're the one they I want to say let get away, but like you're the one that they should have treated properly because you really were there for them. You were going to be a good partner for them. And they didn't do that. And it kind of is like, well, now they're going to have to suffer. Not so much suffer, this or that or whatever, but it's like, I'm hearing that phrase, like, suffer fools. It's like they're going to have to be faced with the reality of their decisions here. And it's not like it's going to come all in one big boom. It's not like it's going to be in front of you. But as they move through their daily life, and I feel like it's going to be a consistent theme until they really admit to themselves what they've done here. It's like they're going to keep getting reminders like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that. And oh, I understand why that hurt Scorpio. Oh, I understand now why that would have hurt them so much. It's like they're just going to keep getting reminders until they figure out that, well, actually, you know what? I am sorry that I did it to you. Is that kind of a thing? I do feel, Scorpio, that I'm not trying to be... Okay, so what I'm hearing here is that this isn't really something... It's almost like this person might come around and apologize when you're still in a bit of pain here. And I don't really feel that you're going to... It's almost like this person will say whatever they're going to say to you as some sort of apology. And it's like you would just kind of stare at them, almost like apathetic, and be like, so what? Like, so what? You still did it. Sorry's great, but that's not going to take it back. You know what I mean? So there is a message here that if they come around with a sorry, that you continue to do what you've done. You continue to conduct yourself in a way that is going to let you walk away from this situation where you don't regret what you've done, where you don't regret what you said or what you did or what you kind of exposed about this person or whatever the case may be. Keep the moral high ground here, because that is going to keep you, I want to say, the hell out of this situation and the hell away from this nonsense. So I do want to say, Scorpio, oh, that's lovely. At the bottom of the deck here, we have the Four of Swords and the Ace of Wands. I do want to say with the Tower and the Six of Swords. So all that to say, Scorpio, I feel like you're going to have some peace about this real soon. And it almost feels like you might be there might be a little bit of trepidation in letting go of all of it. It's almost like you feel like you're letting this person off the hook for having been a complete ass. Sorry. But you're not letting them off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook. It's like, you don't have to hold them to anything. You don't have to be the punisher. You don't have to be the one that, makes this person face the music. They're going to have to figure out, like, someone else is going to have to do that. You don't deserve to be ensconced in this thing with somebody that's been so awful to you. You deserve a lot better. And you know it. So, that's what I have for you today, Scorpio. If this reading resonated, I'm sorry that it did, and I'm giving you a huge hug from over here. I love you so much, Scorpio. Take care. Bye.